Hi, this is Joel, gardening in the Grove, Minnesota, Zone 5A. I am in Cottage Grove, just southeast of the Twin Cities. I'm just going to take you around today, Saturday, June 28th. This is early in the morning, just a little after 8. Just going to show you what's kind of giving us color in the garden at this time. All right, let's turn around and we'll go see. All right, we're going to start here on the west side of my house. This is a little mostly sun area, and it's probably the only sun area I have in the yard. So we'll start right here. This one I cut way back. This is a catmint or nepeta. It is the cat's pajamas. We walk along here. We have some Arizona blanket flowers. Those are giving off a nice orange and yellow. We've got a foxglove that's going to be coming up, so that's getting kind of exciting. I've never grown a foxglove before, so got a little bit of color on these. I cut these back as well. This is some alyssum I did at the winter sowing method, so that's kind of fun. Those are actually doing good. Ignore the weeds. I have raked and done this garden several times, so this is super kapow coral phlox. I really like the pinky corally color. Got some salvia here. Nice pink. This is not my rose marvel that I have up in other places in the garden. I could look at the tag, but it's all kind of dug in, so I'm not gonna. We got some daisies here. And again, that tag is kind of buried, so. Pretty coneflowers. And this is a Maynite salvia that I just transplanted from the back behind the shed, so I could get that a little bit more color. Little dianthus. Back here we have some geranium and another catmint. I'm not sure which that one is. That might be like Junior Walker or something like that. We'll walk around the tree here. I've got some delphiniums that are working on. These were done in the winter sowing method as well. I put the cages around it because it looked like something had been eating at it. So I wanted to get that prevented. So we put those around it for a little while. We've got some Jacob's Ladder. This is the Heavenly Habit. I've never grown Jacob's Ladder before either, so that's putting on a nice little purpley blue show here. Got some Geum. Nice little pop of orange color. These are just planted like a week ago. I got those on sale, I believe. Sun King Aurelia, that one doesn't really flower. That's going to get probably 3 or 4 feet high and wide. This little planter here, I did not remember planting anything in it. And it started coming up, and it's giving me some new nice pink calla lilies. So that's kind of fun. All right, we'll walk up this way. All the hostas up in the back are doing really good. This is my family garden. Again, Henry I, for Lou's brother Henry, on the left. And that is these big white flowers. Quite pretty. And then we have Samaritan Joe right next to it on the same trellis. And those are a little bit smaller, and they're a little more lavendery pink. So those are giving us a nice color in the back here. And Samaritan Joe was after Lou's sister Joanne. All right. And these are from Joanne. These are some spiderwort. Kind of a nice purple flower. And a powwow white coneflower. Looking pretty nice. My powwow wildberry hasn't burst out yet, but it's getting ready. Gypsophilia or baby's breath. This is also from Joanne's garden. My autumn rudbeckias are getting ready. There's another one back here with a little bit darker autumn colors. I got right above it, there is some gomphrena, and it's just getting ready to open. So there'll be a nice burst of color on kind of hanging up over the top of other plants. That's my mini lupin. And then I've got a larger lupin here. I've chopped some of the blooms off already because I didn't want it to go to seed. But that is from Joanne's garden as well. All right, I just threw out my couple of pounds of zinnias a couple weeks ago, and they're coming up and doing good. Down here is my Italian ice rose. Excuse me. Very pretty, kind of a corally, pinky, yellowy color. All right. Then we've got some liatris here that'll be blooming here shortly. And right behind that is a little swath of pink veronica. Peonies are all done. Just kind of sad. Nice color with the creeping Jenny. And then I have a black pearl heuchera. And then some different various hostas and things here. This is Grape Expectations Coral Bell or heuchera. So it's putting on its little show. It's kind of cute. It's the really dark foliage, but then it puts off kind of a variegated, kind of pinky white with more burgundy on the flower stems. My geranium is doing really well. That was one I wintered over in several ways. It was in the garage, basement, back to the garage, in the greenhouse for a while, so that was kind of fun. This mini hosta is blooming. Don't have any idea what kind that is. More spiderwort here along the front of the garden, near the garage and greenhouse. Wild geranium. That put on a really good show. I cut some of it back and is trying to flush a little bit more again. All right, these are evening primrose. These actually I got from the neighbor many years ago. It's pretty yellow. My Lismachia, I don't remember what kind this. I think it's firecracker. It's starting to bloom. This one's pretty invasive, but I do like the kind of burgundy green color with the little yellow flowers. Stella d'Oro daylilies. They're putting on a nice show. And they'll bloom off and on pretty much the rest of the summer. We'll go over here. Rebecca's done. This is a double play doozy. Spirea. The nice pink. It's kind of getting done, so. Then Boom Chocolata geranium, another one here. And I like that bluish purple and then kind of the blue hint of that foliage here. That's very pretty. All right. Over here we have a couple of lilies, Asiatic type lilies. Really nice, kind of deep orange, almost red. A couple of new coral bells that I put around the barberry. This is the bird cage garden. Remember? That's the bird cage. All right. I've got another 3 Veronica here. Very nice pink. All right. Then we have a few different kinds of sedums. These I got off a marketplace, so I don't have any idea what kind they are. This one's putting on a little bit of a yellow show here. And this one here is trying to get ready to bloom, and I think that'll bloom yellow as well. It's a little bit different variety. All right. Then down the side garden, this is the east side of the yard. This is mostly hostas and shade type plants, but I have a nice big bunch of goat's beard there. That one gets nice big white plumes, and that's probably 7 feet tall. And I think this one is Elegans hosta. That one's putting on a nice show of white. I like this one a little bit better than a lot of the hosta blooms because most of the hosta blooms aren't very pretty, and that one's a little bit thicker and shorter. I think I showed you in this last video, I had my foam flowers, or tiarella, Spring Symphony, and I cut these back, and they're flushed out just about as nice as the last time. All right, that's another Lismachia. This is a little bit different variety. That's a splitting from another area. Nice yellow flowers. And I never had any luck with the stilbies until this year. I planted that one. I think I actually maybe transplanted that one last year. And it is blooming very nicely. All right. All the different hostas. We have another Lismachia here. This is the original. It's doing very well. All right. Finishing off the side garden, east side of the house, and then we'll go over to the deck garden. Kind of surrounds the deck. Now this one I did a little bit better weeding. I've added a few new hostas. My Ligularia, that's the rocket. That should be shooting off its blooms pretty soon. I believe this one is one of the Empress Wu, giving off its nice, really pale purple / white. But even though the hostas sometimes don't have blooms, or you don't really like the blooms, they are very colorful in their foliage. All right, this one's T-Rex, getting its blooms going. Several other different varieties. I think I have 75 various named varieties of hostas. So I've got my collection building. I've got a few more the new ones this year. So, and some of these were little just liners last year. So they're just getting going. My 9 bark, remember that I think this is summer wine. I had cut that back a few weeks ago, and look at all the growth it's having. It was kind of sprawling out over the top of these hostas and ferns, so I took a twine and put some stakes and just kind of tied it up. All right, let's take a look at the backyard here. Not a ton of color, but a lot of these things are new. Remember, I started my big pushing gardening last year, and that's still a work in progress. All right, this is a fairy garden we have here. Not a ton of blooms, but there is some color. I really like this ajuga. Kind of matches the fairy above it in the colors. It's kind of that multicolor. All right, got several hostas. We got a couple ferns. Bleeding heart that I transplanted a couple weeks ago. Kind of split. It was over in that side garden and it just didn't do very well, so I moved it. Baptisia or false indigo, that's golden, let's see, American gold stick. That is done. I got a couple new Magic Show purple illusion. These are actually on sale at Lowe's. I think I got them for half price. So they kind of had their flush. I cut some of it back. This one I didn't cut back too much. There's another set that I got as well that I cut way back. Anacloa grass. That was off a marketplace. Yeah, so everything's doing good. Then we're going to go back and that's where we started. So let's go along the side of the garage here. Not a whole lot of color here. This is just all green yet. Hydrangeas are doing good and look nice and green and lush, so we're just waiting for them to pop the color. Couple things I just planted, blackberry lilies. There's a catmint from last year. This is Junior Walker, but it hasn't really done well yet. So a couple new things that I just planted. Another hydrangea. So let's go around the front. All right, so this is the front of the yard. I have a nice big line of impatiens. I had just this little square or L shape last year, and then Lou said, well, you don't have enough color. So I added color all along the front here. And then you'll see we did it along the side too. All right, this is a hanging basket. Actually, I took out and put it into this pot. This is from the Mennonite or Amish Gardens down in southern Minnesota. Got that little umbrella basket that I made up. Doing well, a lot of color. My agastache are not putting off its little purple blooms quite yet. So, and over here, I thought I had lost my hardy hibiscus, but it was late to start, and I've heard that that's true about them. So I'm excited to see. It's going to get a nice pink and white bloom, like dinner plate size. Down here, these are salvia that I started from seed from last year. So I took it off some salvia I had last year, and those should throw up some blue, spikes of blue. I moved my little fairy that I had out in, got from the marketplace, and I put some lobelia in there. So it's a nice pop of blue, really deep. These are white flowers. I can't remember the name of them. They're like a Detra or something like that. I chopped them up because they were getting quite leggy. Purple, not purple. Pink Marvel, Salvia. I had to chop those back too because they were all spent. So those are starting to reflush. Bobo Hydrangea hasn't quite done it yet. Here you go. Here's one. Sorry for my shadow, but here's one of the is starting to push out its blooms again. It's just a little white with a little teensy yellow dot in the middle. Then we can continue our impatient swath down here. We did this all the way down the yard. Don't mind all the weeds because I can weed and rake that out, and a couple days later it's back again. All right, these are some more Veronica. This one's Ever After Magic Show. So these are a little bit more pale purple blue colors. So and these were ones that were half price again at Lowe's. I chopped some of those spent blooms out and got them in here, and hopefully they'll take off. All right, let's go around the last couple gardens here in the front. There's little rings that I made. Most of it is divisions of hostas and other flowers that I brought from in the backyard. I put a ring of impatiens around here too as well. These were planted a little bit later, that's why they're not quite as filled in. There's a geranium. I got a oh, that kind of doesn't look so good. A fern leaf bleeding heart, so hopefully that'll recover. All the mushrooms too. We've had such rain in the Twin Cities here, so kind of annoying. It's almost too rainy. Everything's getting kind of soggy. All right, mailbox garden. My Senorita Rosalita Cleome are doing really good. I really like the kind of the spidery or real open air look it has. And then we've got the petunias. Again, we had a lot of rain even last night, so they're kind of smushed down. But I'm hoping if they dry off a little bit, they'll rebound. And then our last little garden here is around the big maple along the side of the driveway. Again, it's flowers, hostas, and various things from the backyard, most of it. Got my little flamingos. They're kind of not doing the best either just because of all that rain. I've got to come through probably later today and give them some fertilizer. But yeah, a lot of things are starting to shoot off some color. I think that's going to do it for us. Oh, here, the Coreopsis from Joanne, Blue Sister, is just starting to open here. So there's a really, really teeny one. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. Again, this is Joel B's Gardening in the Grove. Thanks. Bye-bye.